home for all your Yankees news, updates, live streams, and play-by-plays. This is Max Coverage TV, and this show starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another show here on Max Coverage TV. For more Yankees news, updates, and information throughout the entire offseason, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. I got you covered on everything. And we have our first bit of news because Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman talked to the media today discussing the future of the 2026 Yankees and also the fallout on what happened, what went wrong in 2025. So if you're watching on the replay, drop me some comments down below. We'll discuss more about this after the show is over in the comment section. If you are live in the chat right now, shout out to Choa, shout out to Action VJ in the Ace Avenue saying, yeah, you're the goats, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. So a very interesting day for Yankee land, and we'll be bringing up some of the clips throughout the show. We'll discuss some of the tweets and all the news that came out of today's press conference. They talked to the media around 12 o'clock. Both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman had separate press conferences, but basically the main topics were injuries. Anthony Volpe, Carlos Rodon is dealing with an injury already. The availability of some of these guys to start 2026. We have some good news with Aaron Judge. He will not have surgery on his flexor strain on his elbow, so that's great news there for Aaron Judge. Everything has been looking good for him, they said. So after the season is over, he went and got another MRI on that elbow. Everything went out clear, so that's good news there for Aaron Judge. But Carlos Rodon is dealing with some loose bodies in the elbow, and he had a procedure done to clean that up. So we'll talk more about Rodon here in a second. Anthony Volpe, we all saw the news on Tuesday. He underwent surgery on his torn labrum and his non-throwing arm. So it looks like Anthony Volpe won't be able to play until May or late April, May, or early June is what I'm hearing. So that's very interesting news, especially because who's going to be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees next season? Is it going to be Caballero? Is it going to be someone in the free agency land like Bo Bichette? You know, we getting Cabrera back. He can also play shortstop. Going to be very interesting to see what the Yankees do. But Anthony Volpe will be starting the season on the IL. That's some of the news that we got out of this press conference today. Let's bring up some comments here. We got Ruben. We got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. The Ace in the house saying, Boone saying, I don't know, to the reporter asking him why fans should have faith in them is crazy. Bro, it's some of the stuff that he says. Ace, should we be surprised at this point? Really, should we? It's ridiculous, man. We got Jake. Max, honestly, I don't think they're going to be a better team than they were this year. Yeah, I mean, we're going to discuss some of the free agency, some free agents also, who's going to be available, but we all know Cody Bellinger will opt out. That's no shock there. I mean, he's a Scott Boras client. He was going to make $25 million, $26 million this year, but they want that long-term contract. This will be the last real big payday for Cody Bellinger in his career, so it all makes sense for him to opt out. Are we going to get him back? Who knows? Who is the guy without a hat? I know, right? I got a fresh cut, man. I got a fresh cut, David. What is going on, my boy? Good to see you, bro. We got Action VJ Bo in the Bronx. Nah, probably not. I don't think so either, man. I don't think so either, but, you know, he is available. But let's take a look at some of the injury updates here during the show. Here, I'll make it right there. There we go. That's a better look there. So Brian Hoke tweeted out, follow him on X. He is a beat writer for the New York Yankees. Great follow. He says, here are the injury updates all in one place for the press conference. Judge will not require right elbow surgery. Will take time off and continue to do strengthening things and rehab stuff. We all know the World Baseball Classic is coming up. Judge does want to play in the World Baseball Classic. Of course, he's Captain America, baby. But it's going to be interesting to see what what will happen, I think he will play in the WBC, but we'll just monitor out the entire offseason for Judge. Anthony Volpe underwent left shoulder surgery October 14th. He can't swing a bat for 4 months. He cannot dive on the shoulder for 6 months. Will begin season on IL. Could return in April or May. So that's pretty big news for the Yankees. I mean, Volpe, as we all know, I personally don't think Volpe's going anywhere. I think this kind of confirms it either. I don't think a team is going to want to trade for Anthony Volpe, especially coming off a tough year, but he's still young. He's 24, but now he can't even swing a bat for 4 months. He can't even play in the field essentially for 6 months. So I think Volpe could actually, it could be like the ladder until we see Volpe again next season. But that opens more doors, like I said, for Jose Caballero. Carlos Rodon underwent procedure to remove loose bodies and shave down bone spur and pitching elbow. That's not good news. Sean Manaea, I think, if I'm not mistaken, had the same procedure done, and Manaea missed more than, it says Rodon will not throw for 8 weeks and will be a delayed, potentially a couple weeks to begin the season. So we're not going to see Rodon until late April. Could be longer. Because I don't know if this is going to delay his spring training, but that's not great news there for Carlos Rodon because, as you see the next little notepad or on the note right there, Garrett Cole, scheduled to continue throwing lightly throughout the offseason, will not be ready for opening day, but initially estimates have pointed to May. So that's good news there, but that's 2 guys that's not going to be available for opening day. Rodon and Garrett Cole. Make it 3 guys, because Clark Schmidt expected to begin throwing program in mid-December, could return in the second half of 2026. 3 guys already in your starting rotation that won't be ready for opening day. That's a very bad news for the New York Yankees, in my opinion. Of course, there's going to be guys they can sign in the free agency. Of course, there's guys in the minor league that they can call up and, give them a shot. But that sucks. I mean, we all knew Garrett Cole and Clark Schmidt. We all knew they weren't going to be ready for opening day. But the Carlos Rodon news is what's kind of like the more upsetting news there. Jake saying, you wonder if they'll call up Lagrange and Rodriguez. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could call up one of those 2 or both of them, Jake, if they don't get traded, because I do think the Yankees have a trade up their sleeves this offseason. They always kind of do, but Lagrange and Rodriguez Cruz is by far the best 2 in your farm. Like, that's still in the minor league, I'm saying. So, if they don't sign anybody, like we all know Dylan Cease is going to be a free agent. There's a couple of names. I'll bring up some names here in a second also on the screen so we can look at some starting pitchers for free agents. But there's a couple of guys that they can sign in the offseason, but if they don't want to go that route, they can trade for somebody else. But it's a never-ending door with the New York Yankees in health, man. It really is. We need help. Let's see what Cash Arse does about it. Yeah, he better do something about it, bro. Actually, VJ's plan is to go get Tucker, Kaz Akamoto, and pitching. So, yeah, we definitely need some bullpen arms. That's for damn sure. I got to do some more research on Kaz, bro, because I'm not really familiar with him, but I know he is coming over. He's jumping over to the MLB. So, going to be very interesting. I mean, like I said, there's a lot more names out there. So let me bring it up here to kind of look at some names for pitching-wise that's going to be available for the Yankees to go after. And I'll bring this up here. So that's the free agents here for the New York Yankees. Well, for MLB as a whole, they're free agents. It's not on the screen. There we go. And I'll go. There we go. So Jordan Montgomery, I don't want any part of Jordan Montgomery. Bassett getting older. He'll be 37 years old. Don't want Chris Bassett either. Chris Sale is on a club option. Here, actually, let me see if I can make this like bigger. I'm sorry if you can't really read it. Here, there we go. Boom. Now we can read it. Framber Valdez, he's had a decent career. I don't know if the Yankees will go that route either. There's a couple of names, but there's a lot of names that I would not have any part of. I mean, you already know Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. These guys are on their back. They should retire, honestly. Zach Gallen, that could be an interesting name because the Yankees, he'll be 30 years old next season. He'll be turning 31, so that's a name that maybe the Yankees look for. Dylan Cease, he'll be 30 next year. He'll be probably the most expensive out of all these guys, even though he had a down year. But yeah, there's a couple of names out there that the Yankees can go after. Let's see here. We got Joseph Papa. Yeah, I never rest. I never rest, buddy. Never. I need to. Well, actually, I did rest yesterday. I will say I was passed out by 10 o'clock yesterday, man. I didn't call a game last night because I was just so exhausted, honestly. Yeah, so here's the rest of the look. Michael King on a mutual contract. Let's see if he's going to be free agent or not. I don't even want to mention Nestor Cortez. Hey, thank you for all you've done, Nestor. But no, I don't want any part of you, buddy. None. And, yeah, so there's your list of guys. Not really the greatest for starting pitchers. There's a couple of good names, but like I say, man, we might just have better luck in the farm. Yeah, Ranger Suarez, he is an interesting one. I think the Phillies would get him. I think the Phillies are going to re-sign him, Jake. I really do. But if he does not get re-signed by the Phillies, I will love Ranger Suarez. He's had a pretty good back-to-back years, and he put together another good year this year. You want Dylan Cease? Yeah, Cease had a strangely weird, bad year, man. But Dylan Cease is, like I said, he's going to be the most expensive out of all of them, for sure. Let me bring up Ranger Suarez real quick. But another lefty. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So Ranger Suarez, if you look there, that's his chart. 3.20 ERA in 26 starts, so 151 strikeouts with a 122 whip. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. You know, his numbers aren't bad at all. Sinker, changeup, cutter, curveball, fastball, slider. He's 30 years old, so Suarez would be an interesting name, no doubt. Dev in the chat dropping 13 months saying, "What's up, Max? What's up, Dev? Thank you so much. Thank you so much." Michael, what's going on? I thought Michael King was going to be a free agent. He's on a mutual contract. So if the Padres and him both say, hey, it's better off if you you go ahead and test the market, best of luck to you. But he signed that mutual contract. Let me see if I can bring up his contract here. I know he's going to be making like 15 mil. Yeah, so he has a $15 million mutual contract. So they did that to basically avoid the arbitration. And he has a $3.75 million buyout. So if they don't bring him back, they'll still pay him $3.75. So it'll be interesting to see if they do or not. But Theo in the chat, we need a right-handed catcher, so I would go get Real Muto. I agree. I would go get Real Muto, too. He would be one of my guys. Because I 1,000% agree with you, Theo. I think we do need a right-handed catcher. We can't go in there with three lefties. Like, the construction on this team was a terrible issue going into 2025. In my honest opinion, I think they might get better luck just bringing someone up from the farm. One of the Yankees' strengths is being able to develop pitchers. I agree, man. I think, if you're not going after Dylan Cease, Suarez, or if King is available, I think the best bet is probably calling somebody up. Or you trade for somebody. Like I say, Jake, I think this team always has a big trade up their sleeve in every offseason. Bellinger was a trade this offseason. Devin Williams at the time. I mean, I don't know about all of you, but I was pretty hyped up about it. I thought that was a great trade for the Yankees because we got one of the best closers in the game. Did it work out? No, right? And of course, 2 seasons ago, we got Juan Soto. So I think there could be a big trade. We all know the 2 big names out there, Skubal and Skeens. I think Skubal would be more likely to be traded if there is any slight chance that one of the 2 would get traded this offseason. I think it would be Tarek Skubal because he's a free agent next offseason. So the Tigers want anything from him because I don't see him re-signing with Detroit. They would trade him. So, I mean, not saying the Yankees are going to do that. Not saying the Tigers are going to trade him. I'm just saying if there's any slim hope in that happening, it would be probably Skubal out of the 2. Skeens, I just don't know right now if Skeens would be on the move. I wonder if Ketel Marte will be available. I would love Ketel Marte. I know he had there's some internal issues with the Diamondbacks and Ketel Marte supposedly, but Ketel Marte, he's a beast, man. I would love Ketel. Realmuto is good, but will the Yankees give up on Wells? Wells may develop into a decent hitter. Go with Rice at first base. Realmuto is good. He is older. If I'm not mistaken, he'll be 35 next season, and the bat has, diminished a little bit over the years, but the reason I like Realmuto is 1, he's a right-handed catcher. 2, it's slim out there for free agencies in the catcher spot. And 3, he knows how to catch a guy stealing. That's something that the Yankees struggle with the last couple of seasons now, is catching runners stealing. His pop time is one of the best in the league, and his caught stealing rate, I think, is like +6. So that's the reason I would get Realmuto. I don't think Realmuto would be an every single day catcher. Wells would, of course, be still getting a lot of run, a lot of playing time. But I do think Rice is going to be at first base. It wouldn't shock me if they go. It would shock me if they sign like someone like Pete Alonso or a big guy like that on first base, because I think you can save the money and play Rice at first base and spend the money elsewhere, then go in and get a guy like Pete Alonso. Josh Naylor is out there. He'll be out there next offseason. I don't see Goldschmidt coming back. Of course, Bellinger can play first base if they want to go that route and signing him back. I think Bellinger is going to look for $30+ million for like 5 years. I wouldn't pay him that much personally. I wouldn't pay him that long. I'd say like a 3 or 4 year contract for me for Bellinger, but 5 is a little scary. Pujols for Orioles GM. Yeah, I heard that too. Orioles are looking at Pujols. Also, how about a hell yeah for the first offseason stream? Let's go. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if you can even hear this.
Give me a hell yeah!
Can you even hear that? Because my sound bites aren't really working on this software for some reason. But let's see here. Let's dive more into the press conference here. So we all saw the Volpe news with his labrum repair, and we all know how long it's going to be. Judge does not need elbow surgery. Boone says that he'll be in right field next year. Not necessarily to think about another position like first base. Yeah, not yet. I wouldn't think about that. So Volpe's going to be down. He's going to start the season on the IL. Boone did say that Rodon probably will be delayed to start 2026. Some changes in the coaching staffs. Mike Harkey. You heard a loud and clear. Let's go. Okay, sweet. It's working then. I guess it was just an update. Mike Harkey is out for a bullpen coach. Also, Travis Chapman is out as the first base coach. So 2 new coaches for the Yankees. They have promoted a coach from within, Jake Hurst. He's going to be our assistant hitting coach. So he was the hitting coordinator down in AA for a little bit. So he'll be up with the MLB staff. But it's going to be interesting to see who they replace Mike Harkey and Travis Chapman with. Luis Rojas, he has been interviewed by the Orioles to be their next manager. If he does not take that role, they do want him back. So Action VJ's favorite coach, Luis Rojas, could be back again as a third base coach. But the main topic, the big dog, Aaron Boone, I don't think he's going anywhere, folks, especially after the press conference today. They would not have him out there talking to the media if he's not going to be the manager next season. So I know a lot of folks are upset. I get it. Trust me. I get it. But like I've been saying, like I've been harping on, I think it's more of an upper level issue than Aaron Boone. I think the next person that the Yankees bring in could be an Aaron Boone clone. Now, I know it is very important to sometimes just get a new voice in the clubhouse. I get that, but action PJ. But yeah, there's no really need for me to even talk about Aaron Boone being fired or coming back next season. I think it's pretty much set in stone now that he is going to be back. In my opinion, things can change, but that's just what my thoughts are. Do you think Judge is sick of being on the Yankees, considering that they've been losing all these years? I say Judge loves being a Yankee. I don't think he's tired of being a Yankee. He's going to retire a New York Yankee. He's tired of not winning a championship, and I mean, he did all he could this season, and he did all he could in the postseason. So you can't put any blame on Aaron Judge this year. Not saying you did. I'm just saying in general, just in speaking. But if I'm Judge, I know he's frustrated. I know he's gonna be up there in the office with them as they discuss free agents, all that stuff, maybe trades, because Judge should have every say that he can going forward, because one more year of playing means one less year of Judge's career. So we got to start winning now. You hear me? Got to go get a third base coach. I mean, we'll see what Luis Rojas decides to do, but I have it imprinted in my brain that Rojas has made a lot of bad base running calls. He has, but they love him. I mean, I don't know, man. Seems like the scapegoat this season is Travis Chapman and Mike Harkey, which Harkey is kind of crazy because he has been with the team for the longest time. He's been with the team since 2009. And actually, Aaron Boone said that he's his best friend. Like, Mike Harkey is Aaron Boone's best friend. That's another thing. Aaron Boone, how much say does he have if they just fired his best friend? Imagine that. Imagine you're a manager of an establishment and your best friend is, another manager on the staff, and the GM just undermines you and says, "You're fired." That's a little sad, right? So maybe Aaron Boone doesn't really have any pull at all if they're just going to can his best friend that's been with the team since 2009. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, man. Also, do you think the players love Aaron Boone? I do think they love Aaron Boone. You would think if the players thought there was something wrong, they would bring that to the management. I think they do love Aaron Boone, Jake. And that's another reason why he's been the manager for so long, because Aaron Boone has all the players back. And you see it. He doesn't ever throw anybody under the bus. He doesn't ever, bash a player in a press conference after the game's over and anything like that, which no one does nowadays. That's just how we are in sports. No manager, no coach is going to go out there and bash their players. If they do, I guarantee you a GM, somebody in that clubhouse, somebody in that organization will make them say sorry, make them apologize right afterwards, because I haven't seen it in a while. But Aaron Judge will not need surgery. I'm just going up the list here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Aaron Boone said he expects Jason Dominguez to be a regular player next season, but said they need to see what happens in the winter with the roster. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about was Jason Dominguez. And I'll take a screenshot here, and I'll just throw it on the screen so all y'all can see it. But Jason Dominguez, they want him to play winter ball, which is smart because more reps for him, because we haven't seen Dominguez other than a couple of pinch runs and stuff like that since 2 months, probably like 2 months. But Jason Dominguez is expected to play regularly next season. Aaron Boone said he may play in winter ball, which he should. they envision him in left field depending on how the offseason goes. So right now, Dominguez is back. Why is it doing that? There we go. Dominguez is back as our everyday player for 2026. We'll see how long it lasts, but for right now, that's the goal. Action says, I love hearing about the MLB veterans letting it be known they want back into the game. Pujols, Yadier Molina, Manny Ramirez. Yeah, that is awesome. You know, these guys are staples in the game. So I'm sure also, dude, that would bring more free agents to that team. I'm sure a lot of players would want to play for Pujols, Yadier Molina, Manny Ramirez, etc. I know a lot of players would love that. I don't like Boone, but I believe Judge came back because of Boone. Believe Soto took liking to Mendoza. Japanese players bonded with Roberts in L.A. Well, you could be right. You know, Judge, he came back because, one, they gave him a lot of money. That's for damn. I mean, that's first things first. Hal Steinbrenner himself called Judge and got that done. So, at the time, that was a lot of money. But now, you know, looking back at Aaron Judge's contract now, it seems like we got him on a bargain. So, Judge loves being in pinstripes. Boone definitely has, you know, a role in that, Joseph. I do believe that because, like I say, Boone always has the players' backs. So, and I haven't heard one ex-player talk bad about Aaron Boone. If I had, I haven't seen it personally. But, and for Japanese play, I think Japanese players just bonded with Ohtani. Dave Roberts could have something to do with it, but they have Shohei Ohtani in LA. So of course all the Japanese players are going to want to play over there because Ohtani, you know, that's their countrymen. The World Baseball Classic, they're all teammates anyway. They all know each other. They're all friends. But I do think Dave Roberts, of course, has, you know, a hand in it as well, but it's nice to have Ohtani there too. It's always difficult to fire someone when you know that that the players like them. Exactly. And that's what's tough every offseason. You know, every offseason multiple coaches, multiple managers, they're going to get fired, you know, and that's the harsh thing in this business, and that's in every sports, you know. But I wish them nothing but the best. I'm eager to see who we're going to bring in or promote as our next bullpen and next first base coach. Maybe we bring in Anthony Rizzo, huh? How about that? What do you think about that, guys? You think Rizzo would come in and be a first base coach? I would love that. Let him. He's already been kind of like a coach already in his career. Bring in Anthony Rizzo as a first base coach. Come on. That would be awesome, man. That would be awesome. I see a lot of potential with Jazz, but don't see Boone pressing him to focus on the game. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jazz because, you know, he's a free agent next offseason. So are they going to sign him long term or what? But I like Jazz a lot, man. I know he makes some bonehead mistakes. And do me a solid. Smash that like button, everybody. But, yeah. Trav, wouldn't you like Rizzo? That would be amazing. Yeah. Let me just talk to the camera real quick. If you're the Yankees, you let go of Travis Chapman. There's only one person that can be the first base coach next season for the New York Yankees, and his name is Anthony Rizzo. What do you say, everybody? Would you agree on that call? Rizzo, he already has like a coachy feel to him when he played. Now you bring him in, get his feet wet as a first base coach next season. That would be amazing. I will love it. Make it happen. Make it happen. All right, there we go. I just want to get that off my chest. It felt good saying it, man. Felt good saying it. We got Miss Cindy in the chat. Yee-ha! How you doing? How are you doing? Doesn't Rizzo want to get into broadcasting? You know what? Yeah, but wouldn't it be better if he's back in the clubhouse? I know he's here. He said it on the TBS broadcast, the Jazz. Tell the boys I miss them. Tell the boys I love them. He loves it, man. He loved being a Yankee. I would love it. I think it'll be awesome. All right, going up, make a C. Let's see if we have any more news I wanted to talk about. We got a lot of stuff that we got to talk about, man. Brian Cashman. Let's bring this up. Here, I'm working on one monitor here, so please bear with me. Please bear with me. I'm trying my hardest, man. All right, so this is Brian Cashman on the his reflection of 2025 right here.
I know I don't have to remind
you
you that obviously you started with the Yankee organization under George Steinbrenner, and he always had the World Series mandate. So after a season where you won 94 games, succeeded in the wild card round, but fell short in the division series round, how would you describe this season?
We've had success and failure. Obviously failed in our ultimate goal and had some success, obviously. Along the way, we had a good team that but fell short of our ultimate goal. So, I leave it for the masses to debate, what it ultimately came out of. Proud of a lot of things we accomplished and players that we, I knew that they were fighting. They were talented, they were fighting, they were committed, and but wasn't good enough.
I know I don't have to remind you that.
No crap, it wasn't good enough, man. No crap, it wasn't good enough. He just seems defeated. It starts with you, Brian Cashman. It starts with you. You build the team. That's the first mistake in 2025. The team that you built wasn't good enough. And you had to go fix it during the deadline. You're using Hal Steinbrenner's money to build a championship. That is your job. It has been your job for how long now? Since I've been alive. Cashman, be better. I don't know who's in your circle. I know Fishman and all those guys there in your little circle. Get some new voices, man. Because something is not working. If we have not won a World Series since 2009, that should be your blatant telling sign. How long, folks? We have been through the mud. We have been through pain. We have been close in 2024. We were so close, but the team didn't go out there and play their best, and we all saw it firsthand. But one championship in 25 years. And Cashman, you have been there the entire time. I'm not going to count the late 90s, early 2000 run because that was Gene Michael. You inherited that roster. Get better at doing your job. If I'm Hal Steinbrenner, which Hal Steinbrenner said that, he's depressed, he's disappointed, he feels like it was a letdown. If I'm Hal Steinbrenner, how do you keep giving this man your money to go build a team to win a championship, and year in and year out, it does not happen? Yes, we have good teams to win divisions. Yes, we always make the playoffs. I think we've only missed the playoffs, 2 years in the last 25 years or so, if I'm not mistaken. Someone fact check me, please. But it's not good enough, man. We haven't won the prize. It's frustrating because I know all of us, we love this team. We watch this team year in, year out. Doesn't matter how good or bad they are. That's the true fans. They watch, and they will keep watching. But we deserve better. Cashman needs to be better, and Hal Steinbrenner, you do too. You do too. It starts with the top, man. It really does. Siciliano, what's going on, buddy? What's up, man? Good to see you. We got Big Balls Baby in the house. Hal doesn't care. He doesn't even go to the games. I mean, he cares. He gives them the money. If he didn't care, he wouldn't spend $300+ million a year. That's my thing. That's my opinion. He would spend like $180 million or, $200 million if he didn't care. But he gives Cashman $300 million plus every year. Yeah, I know he doesn't talk a lot. I know he doesn't speak to the media. He doesn't show his face, but I don't think he doesn't care. I just think he's given his money to the wrong people, in my opinion. All right, so here's Cashman on the areas that the Yankees want to improve upon next season. Let me bring it up. Sorry if it's like I'm doing this by myself. So just bear with me, everybody, okay? Bear with me.
Brian, you said talking about attacking areas of weakness from where you sit. What are your areas of weakness going into the off season?
I'm not going to unpack that today. We'll have some free agency that's going to hit. That'll create some vacancies. We have, got to weigh the available marketplace via free agency or trades with the committed payroll versus the available payroll thereafter. And again, measure opportunities. Some players, knocking on the door, earning the right maybe to take the next step from down below. Obviously at the same time, just trying to weigh what's available to us and if we can get our hands on it, in competition via trade or free agent dollars.
Brian, you said talking about attacking areas of.
I mean, he's not really giving us too much there. I don't think he's going to pull, they're not going to say too much in their first press conference. Really, in baseball, it doesn't really start going until the winter meetings. But like I said earlier, I think the Yankees have a big trade under their sleeve. I don't know if it's for a starting pitcher. I don't know if it's for a position player. I just think something is going to happen. It's funny because if we remember last year, they ranked our farm system like the bottom 10th in the league. It was Bleacher Report. Some stupid article came out that said the Yankees have one of the 10 worst farm systems in the league. I think that's false because clearly a lot of teams think our farm system is a strength because we're always involved in trades. And if you look around the league, you see a lot of ex-Yankees that were in the farm. Carlos Narvaez, Augustine Ramirez. I'm trying to think more, but they're going to keep going after him too. So we got a lot of good pitching talent down there as well right now. I think our farm system is a strength right now. I will say that's one thing the Yankees have done in the past years has build a good farm system, and they have developed pretty well as well. Oh wow, we got I just saw this. So it looks like the Yankees, George M. Steinbrenner Field, just got approved for an $18 million renovation. Oh, okay. Using that Tampa Bay Ray money to upgrade some more stuff around the stadium. I like that. That's some good money well spent, right? Right, chat? Let's keep renovating this George M. Steinbrenner Field down in Tampa, baby. Make it the best minor league ballpark in the land. Let's go. Cashman said they haven't had discussions yet with Scott Boras regarding Cody Bellinger's free agency. Cashman did say Bellinger was a quote-unquote an impact player for the Yankees. Since the Yankees haven't had their off-season discussions yet, Cashman wouldn't say if Bellinger was a top priority, but Cashman did say he would love to have Bellinger back. That's from Jack Curry. When Jack Curry says something, you better believe it. That's my motto. I believe everything that Jack Curry says. He's him. Siciliano says JT Realmuto replace Wells. I will love JT Realmuto. I talked about it earlier. Actually, let's bring up JT Realmuto. Let's use that as a segue here, Siciliano, and bring up JT Realmuto in his chart because I said it earlier in the stream. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it until they sign this man. JT Realmuto, for me, would be a priority. That's just me personally. The bat, yes, has gone down over the years, but he still hit 257 last year. Honestly, you look at 257, chat. You look at 257, I'll take that in a heartbeat from my catching spot. I'll take 257. I don't need them to hit 30-plus home runs as a catcher. I know, yeah, Cal Raleigh hit 60, but I need my catcher to get on base. I need my catcher to catch people stealing. And that's what JT Realmuto does. 257 batting average. This is a down year for him. It's a down year for him. He is aging, and I did say that he'll be 35 next year. But you see his pop time. His pop time is one of the best in the league. Second best in the MLB in pop time. Catch stealing above average +6. That's top 5 in MLB. Okay? He's not the best framer. He's not the best defensive blocker. But what was a weakness? What has been a weakness for the Yankees the past couple of seasons now? Catching runners stealing. There's your answer. That right there is your answer. JT Realmuto. And he's a right-handed bat. And if you take a look, I'll bring it up right now, at your other catchers that you can sign, it's not great. It's not great. Here, let me just hide my face and hide all these stupid ads. Jesus, man. Killing me with these ads, man. Here you go. There's your list. There's your list for catchers that are available. One catcher that is not available that already signed, Austin Hedges, re-signed with the Cleveland Guardians on a 1-year, $4 million deal with $500,000 in incentives. So his name's off that list now, but he was available. But there's your list. Out of that list right there, and you know, Salvador Perez is on a club option. Will they pick it up? I assume they will because he's been a pivotal piece to that team, and he's a future Hall of Famer in my opinion. I think Perez is the club is gonna pick up his option. Mitch Garver, I wouldn't want. He is on a mutual contract, $12 million with Seattle. Christopher Vasquez, I'm good on him. He's just not the best. I wouldn't want him. William Contreras, of course, that would be the first name on the list. But he's also on a club option worth $12 million. I think the Brewers they're wild if they don't pick that up. Contreras, I think, is back with the Brewers. So the rest, not great. Not great. I would take Realmuto in a heartbeat. Let's see. Trap J says leaving players on base is Yankees' biggest issue. Yeah, it's moving runners over, man. Like, they're not cashing in these runners. That's their issue. Would Pirates be tempted with Heel, Wells, Spencer Jones, and Dominguez for Skeens? Toss in Lombard. I mean, I think if you're going for Skeens, they're gonna ask for more pitchers, Joseph. I think you have to add Cam Schlittler. If you want Paul Skeens, Joseph, I think Cam Schlittler has to be included in that package. I think it's Lombard, Schlittler, Jones, and maybe like someone else. Maybe Heel, you know. Would you do that? Would you give up Schlittler, Lombard, Jones, let's say Heel, for Paul Skeens? Yeah, Warren. Warren might be in there too. What's up, Kyan? Good to see you, buddy. Dominguez is a leadoff hitter. They just don't play him enough. Well, hopefully they can figure that out in winter because, like I say, they need him to play winter ball. He needs to get more reps, especially him not being an everyday player for the last 2 months of the season. Brian says, hell no. Basilio says, agreed, Max. Realmuto is a good fit. I think he's a great fit, dude. Now, does Realmuto want to be here? If he's not, I don't think Realmuto would be an everyday player. I think it would be because now you have a righty-lefty. Now you can, swap guys in and out. And a lot of the pitchers love Wells catching them. That's on the Yankees. So Wells is going to get reps. Wells is not going anywhere. Wells is going to keep playing because the pitchers love him as the battery, right? But now you can mix and match and have Realmuto come in against lefties and Wells play against righties, That's something that the Yankees couldn't do last season because they had 3 left-handed catchers on the team. Brian Cashman. See my drift? The construction needs to be better next season. The last two years for the Yankees, we've had holes. Either one, remember in 2022, we didn't have a left fielder, right? Our left fielder it was a mixture of a lot of 2022 was a freaking mess. But it was a mixture of a lot of people. You know, McKinney, Cordero, I'm just saying outfielders in general. Willie Calhoun, Jake Bowers, IKF. Like 2022 was a mess. We didn't have a left fielder going into 2022. Right? Or it was 2023. I'm sorry. 2023 is what I'm thinking of. 2022, we went to the ALCS. 2023, we went into that year without a left fielder. That was a hole. 2024, same thing. We didn't have a third baseman. Who was going to be the third baseman? DJ. That didn't work out. Even this year, we had too many lefties on the bench. Jazz was playing third base when we got him. We wanted him to play second. He trained all offseason to play second base. He was still playing third base. Guys just not in their position. Dominguez in left field. That was an experiment. You know what I'm saying? Like we need players that are one in their true position. Been harping on this for years now. And two, the construction needs to be better because of a pinch hit situation. When they take out a pitcher and they bring in a pinch hitter, it's going to be a lefty. That was what happened last year until the trade deadline, of course. So teams could bring in left-handed pitchers and just dominate us because we couldn't combat it. That's on Cashman to build a better constructed team. And if I can't put any blame on Aaron Boone there. Boone was playing the guys that he got. Boone tried to make it work. DJ stunk. Didn't work out. DFA'd. Cabrera got hurt. That's unfortunate. That was a big blow. I can't wait to see Cabrera play again. So now they had to move Jazz to third because guess what? They didn't have a legit third baseman. Now we do with Ryan McMahon. So that's not an excuse. Now the main thing is getting a right-handed catcher. That'll be one of my main points. And then, of course, you got to figure out the outfield because if Bellinger's gone, what's going to happen? Of course, Spencer Jones, they already kind of touched on Spencer Jones. He's knocking on the door. Of course, spring training is another stepping stone for him to prove that he's ready to play. That's if Bellinger is not here. Even if Bellinger is here, Grisham's gonna be gone, so Jones will be up. But are they going to go in as an outfield with a rookie in Jones in center field and Dominguez in left field, who's still a experiment, who's still learning the position, and then of course Judge is going to be in right field. So, what are their plans? And I'll be covering the entire offseason. It's going to be a fun ride. You know, it sucks the offseason's so long, but when you do this, when you have streams every day, and when you cover the team and hang out with all of you and discuss it every single day, the offseason goes by faster. I promise you that. I promise you that. Because we say it every offseason. Dang, that offseason went by fast. And by a blink, snap of your finger, it's time for spring training. So buckle up. And we're going to have fun here. We're going to be discussing everything. We're going to be talking about everything. And if there's any breaking news while I'm home, of course, I'm going to jump on live and talk to everyone about it. Cashman on Boone says, I think he's a good manager. Brian Cashman said Hal Steinbrenner is frustrated and disappointed. He wants a championship. Spencer Jones has put himself, quote unquote, in the conversation to be an everyday major leaguer in 2026, Brian Cashman said. Said he deserves a look and the ability to compete for a job, but also depends on what they do this winter. Of course, that's the biggest thing. But the full quote, and I'll bring here. This is a 3-minute clip talking about Hal. Let me bring it up on the screen so we can talk about it. Sorry, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. All right, there we go.
Greg and Eric.
You mentioned Hal. How would you describe what your conversations have been like with him in the aftermath of getting knocked out, and how he's kind of taken it all?
Yeah, I mean, he's frustrated, disappointed. He wants it. He wants a championship here, another one, just like, for him and his family. So I'll speak on behalf of Hal and his family. They, I think, believed, not just recently, but many times that we had a chance to do something. But, it's not a given. If it was a given, and people who had that championship caliber gene that had punched through, if that gene was repetitive, and I'm not talking about a gene from handed down from father to son, like, the great George Steinbrenner who belongs to the Hall of Fame, to his son. I'm talking about a gene of winning. There's many a great player that maybe they punched through one time, or many a great manager that's punched through and won something. And we've done it, and Hal Steinbrenner's done it, but it doesn't guarantee. It's not a given that you're going to continually do it. You can have a good process. All you can count on is try to put together a strong process, really good people, try to get as many quality players that care and are committed and can stay healthy and play to the best of their abilities, for 6 months, and then into the different season, which is the postseason, and then and keep trying to do it again and again and again and again and again. And so he's frustrated because he knows, opportunity lost. I think for all of us, I think whether you're a player putting the uniform on, or you're in the front office, people might get surprised at times. I'm more focused on the ones that got away. Like, yes, I've won some World Series, but the ones that I feel, there's a lot of them I feel like we should have won. It could have won. But it is tough. It is really difficult to do, and it's easier to talk through or what have you. But actually, for those guys in the competition, it's it's obviously something that we aspire to do once again, and in some cases aspire to do for the first time. And so whether it's controlling emotions, whether it's being at your best at the most important time on any given at bat, and on any given pitch, and stringing that all together. That is what we continue to, fight for and try to find our way through it. And then trying to walk and talk through it after the fact is, something we'd like to avoid. So hopefully next year we'll find a way.
Well, it starts with you, Cashman. I keep saying it. It starts with you, buddy. He's disappointed because you're not building a team to win a championship. You're failing. Every year, you're failing. Like, Cashman actually, his job should be one of the easiest, because you get $300 million plus to build a team every single year with. And you haven't gave him a championship in 16 years. The second longest drought in Yankee franchise history, by the way. Second longest. I don't know, man. I don't. For me, it's always been Cashman first on the who to blame. It's Cashman. That's who I'm blaming. Because it seems like all these other teams, even with less payroll, are building a better team. It doesn't have to be a team of like high, valued names or MVPs like the Yankees just built, like with Cody Bellinger, Judge, Stanton. All these guys are MVPs at once upon a time in the league. And then you see other teams that built guys that just know how to work together, guys that just know how to get on base. Where are these gritty players? Where are these guys that grind each and every single at-bat? Where are these guys that don't swing and miss? That's what Cashman and company need to really, really focus on next season, is getting guys that don't go up there and swing and miss. Put it in play. Guys that can move over runners. It doesn't have to be a home run. It can be a base hit, a sac fly. Guys that can square down a bunt when you need to. When there's 2 on and no one out, you move over the runners so you take away the double play. Those are the guys that I want this team to go after. We have the power hitters. Stanton's not going nowhere. Judge isn't going anywhere. You can add Jazz into the power hitter category. He just came off a 30-30 season, and you see how he operates. I do want Jazz to start to have a second, like a two strike approach. I would love to see if Jazz can learn that. But we got to get guys that can just manufacture runs, man. It's been that's been an issue for a long time, man. You know, like we have the hitters, we have the power hitters, I should say. But once again, we don't get the job done, man. But it's gonna be a fun off season. It's gonna be a fun time covering it. It's gonna be an awesome road, and can't wait to talk about some guys that's going to be new with the team. Talking about some guys that's going to have opportunities with the team next season. Maybe we see a crazy trade or two during the offseason, but expect more of these live streams when more news comes out the entire offseason. I got you covered. But thank you for joining me. I'm going to wrap the show up. Thank you once again. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, if you're hanging out the entire way, thank you so much for joining me, being the best co-host. I will see you all in a little bit. I'm going to be calling the Dodgers and Brewers game in 30 minutes. So hopefully I'll see you all then. As always, love, peace, and grease on Max Coverage TV. I'm out here, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, go Yankees. Peace.